Aloha guys, this is Joyce from Enjoy Scrapping 2. Earlier I did a product focus on the Spectrum Aqua markers, and since I had everything out, I decided to make a quick and easy card for Tupelo Designs LLC. So I have some things pre-prepped here. I have my A2 size card base. I'm going to score this at 4 1/4 using my mini Martha Stewart scoring board. I like this because it takes up less room. Put that aside. And the stamp set that I'm going to use is the henna elements, just like I used for the product focus. The top part of the cardstock is watercolor cardstock, and the back is just regular cardstock, Nina. And I cut it using the Simon Says stamp stitch die and my favorite things stitch die. So I'm going to be using the Ranger's die ink pads, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment first. This is from Label Love. I really love this. It stamps really nicely. And then I'm using clear embossing powder to emboss the sentiment. I like doing this rather than using black embossing powder. So now I'm going to tape this down to my board here using some micropore tape. You can find all the supplies that I used in the descriptions below. And now I'm going to stamp the flowers. So I'm going to stamp the larger one here. I'm just cutting out, I tested the hello first and I just cut it out, and I'm using it as a mask. And I'm going to use the Ranger's dye ink, and I'm using the Wild Orchid. I thought about using the pink, but because I'm going to be using the same purple marker to watercolor, I'm using Wild Orchid. And after I stamp that, I already have a mask that I cut out. I used this already several times. And then I'm going to mask the paper and mask the flower. I used the Inka Dinka Do masking paper. Here it didn't stamp quite nicely, so I had double stamped the top flower. And then now I'm stamping the smaller flower. Again, I'm double stamping it. I think because of the board, and I didn't press evenly. And so I masked off the small one as well, because I'm going to put the leaves. So when you mask the stamp, it's gonna look like whatever you stamp on top of it, it's gonna look like it's behind the one that you're masking. So I'm cleaning the stamp really well. You can use a stamp cleaner like this. Use the stamp cleaner on one side and then scrub it and then dry it on the other. And now I'm taking it off of the board, and you can see that outline where the stitched line is. It was masked off, so there's no stamping there, and I like that. So I'm going to use this purple. So again, just like I showed in the product focus, I'm putting some marker and then I'm blending it out with the brush. And this is the brush that I got from Tupelo Designs. I really like it. I think I'm going to get the other sets. Because I don't like my brushes like really soft unless I'm going to use a big brush. But for my smaller brushes, I like mine a little bit on the firm side. And this is perfect. So I'm coloring this flower the same color. Trying not to get any color on the stitched portion. This stamp set is on pre-order at Tupelo Designs LLC. It's a great stamp set to have. You can do a lot of different things with it because there's like several flowers, there's leaves and flourishes. It's a really nice set. I personally really like Altene's stamps. So now I have this yellow. I chose a really light yellow here. So I kind of go back with, there's like a darker yellow to give more shading because I thought it was too light. But I mean, it's beautiful color. It mixes really well, as you can see. And then I realized that I didn't have any greens in the set. So at first I tried to use the Ranger's dye ink pads with my blender pen, but it didn't work the way I wanted. So I just got my Stampin' Up! Stamps out, and I'm using the Dove blender pen. And I'm just putting the color all over. See, I wanted to stamp the stamp with the color that I was going to use. I didn't want it to be stark black. So here I'm grabbing some darker shade of green, and I'm just kind of putting some shaded area. So not too much shading, just real simple. And the sentiment says hello. So all you need to do is scrub like the off of another paper or something for the blender pen, and until it writes clear. And now I'm putting the same yellow. This is the bright yellow that I use, and I'm just coloring the edges so that that portion is going to show and match perfectly with the yellow in the center of the flower. So here I'm trying to flick some water to create some water drops on with these markers, but because this wasn't watercolor cardstock, it didn't make any watermarks. Now I'm also coloring the edges, and then I'm going to use my ATG, and I'm going to attach this to my card base. So it's a really simple card today. And then now I'm going to put some foam adhesive on that, and then it'll go right on top of that yellow, and that yellow will match perfectly with the center of the flower. I felt like it needed something, so I grabbed some rhinestones that I had. Oh, before that I put Wink of Stella on the flowers, and I was careful not to reactivate the markers. And now this is when I felt like I needed something. So I grabbed some rhinestones, and I'm putting it in the center of the two flowers, and just randomly just putting some rhinestones all over the card. So this basically finishes off my card today. I hope you enjoyed, and this aqua markers are really good. I really like it. And I like the way this card turned out. So thank you so much for watching. I'll have all the playlists in the descriptions below. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.